Following is an excerpt taken from the third of 3 sessions that make up the 7-hour-long Module 5 training course on process piping design. This brief excerpt touches on a small segment of the in-depth topic on developing piping material specifications. Be consistent when indicating the same spec repeatedly. When the same material or component spec is used multiple times, writing them in different ways can lead to mistakes, or at the very least, questions by others at a time when you will have too many other things to be concerned with during construction. When writing a pipe material spec such as carbon steel pipe, ASTM A53 Type E, Grade B, ERW, Schedule 40 wall thickness. In one spec, do not write Schedule 40 wall thickness, ASTM A53 Type E, Grade B, ERW carbon steel pipe elsewhere. Include only that content which can typically be applied to all piping systems. Do not include steam trap specs, flex hose specs, Y strainer specs in the pipe material spec. There are too many variables in such assembled components such as orifice size, mesh size, and the varied material makeup and end connections of such assembled items. Such items are better off under a special fitting specification, which allows them to be properly specified without unduly creating a more complex piping specification than needed. Do not elaborate on component or valve descriptions. Stick with essential information, but ensure that the description leaves no doubt as to what the item should be. Any attempt at getting too wordy with a spec can only make the spec more confusing. Provide helpful notation such as a thread lubricant type or equal, a reference to the cleaning and testing specification, specific installation requirements such as item to be used in the horizontal, or item to be used in the vertical, or do not include in leak test, or do not use in temperatures exceeding 138 degrees C. An identifier for the note such as Note 1 is then placed at the point of use or where it applies. In this way, the body of the spec is not cluttered with a lot of unnecessary text. Be careful with copy and paste of vendor specifications. Such vendor-specific requirements may hamper the multiple bid process. In many cases, a spec writer will copy and paste the specs for the valve of a particular manufacturer, one that meets the criteria needed for a particular fluid service. And there is nothing particularly wrong in doing that. But in doing a copy and paste of a manufacturer's valve specification, be careful of proprietary names and material. If you wish for these valves to be bid out to other manufacturers or vendors, check to make sure that there are no proprietary material or parts names embedded in the valve specs. Names and parts that other manufacturers do not use for their product. Be consistent with terminology and phrasing, as mentioned earlier. As an example, if writing the following: carbon steel pipe, ASTM A53 Type E, Grade B, ERW, Schedule 80 wall thickness. Avoid writing the following in another spec: Schedule 80 pipe, ASTM A53 Type E, Grade B, ERW, carbon steel. While both specs mean the same, writing them in a different manner wherever that spec is referenced can lead to mistakes, or at the very least, questions by others. Material selection for various fluids can be a complex process, and proper selection becomes crucial when designing for volatile and/or corrosive chemicals. When selecting a piping material, consider multiple material compatibility sources, such as Perry's Chemical Engineering Handbook, Compass Publications Chemical Resistance Guide, and Cole-Palmer Chemical Compatibility. Such sources do not always agree, and if there is any doubt, dig deeper with a materials specialist. The other component to material selection is in balancing cost and integrity. As an example, you wouldn't select Hastelloy C276 for tire water service. It would certainly work, but it's not cost effective. On the other hand, don't trade integrity for cost. the materials and connections that make up these piping systems should be robust and not borderline with the design conditions. As an example, we're going to take a look at selecting a piping material for 50% sodium hydroxide service at ambient conditions. This marks the end of this excerpt. For more information on the complete course, please contact us at courses@wmhuittco.com. In the subject line, enter Request Info on the Module 5 Piping Design course. Thanks for watching.